Good day and welcome. My name is Seth Grey, and in today's video, I'm going to be starting a series of 4 videos. If you haven't yet watched this video, because this is the one that's going to be introducing the 4 secrets to the structure of hypnosis and conversational hypnosis. These are very profound principles. When you understand all of them, it gives you a certain understanding of the structure of conversational hypnosis and how to utilize it from its core. Because a lot of times people are thinking about all the details, but the key is to learn the structure. Then the details naturally fill themselves in. I'm going to be starting with number 1, metaphors. Number 2, descriptive language. Number 3, process language. And then how to access your hypnotic voice. I will be doing one video for each of these. Over the next 4 days, I will release them all. So let us begin. I'm starting with number 1, which is metaphors. Now, metaphors are something not a lot of people know the true structure about them. They are the language of the unconscious mind, or the right hemisphere, the limbic brain. It is a form of symbol language. Now, symbols go back thousands of years as forms of communication. Look at the hieroglyphics in Egypt. Look at all the symbols the religions use. You know, we've got the 8-pointed star, or the tesseract, which is used on most religions. It's found in temples. It's found all over the world. It's a symbol that's used in the octagon for fighting. It's used in the temples in Egypt. Even the Pope utilized this symbol. And you'll notice it's a symbol that's on certain movies like The Avengers. Even a famous artist by the name of Salvador Dali, he painted the tesseract. And the tesseract is actually a 8-pointed star. If you fold it out, it forms a cross, which is the symbol for Christianity. So symbols have been used for millennia to be able to communicate to the unconscious mind. Look at Hitler, the swash symbol, with the salute. These are all ways that we communicate to the unconscious mind. And it's ways that we can bypass the rational mind to actually hypnotize people to perform certain acts and certain tasks. And a lot of the things that are in our society, our conditioning, happens through the symbols, which are metaphors. And this is a form of nonsensical language. So it makes no sense to the logical mind when you start speaking in symbol language or metaphoric language. Therefore, it bypasses the critical factor and goes straight into the unconscious mind to imprint its ideas and concepts that it represents. In certain Wiccan traditions, they had sigils. Now, sigils are used to program the unconscious mind. And that is the basis on metaphor. Imagine metaphor as a desktop icon on your computer. So you've got your computer, and then you've got all the icons on your computer. And when you click on one of the icons, what starts to happen? It activates the program. It starts running the program and all the characteristics associated with that program. Now, metaphors are the same. They run your internal landscape. They are the processes by which cause you to have certain thoughts, certain feelings. They are the core of your belief system, is these metaphors. And we are bound by metaphors in this reality. We've got fast, slow, rough, smooth, hot, cold, dark, light, heavy, light. These are all inescapable metaphors in our world that we cannot escape. Whether you're driving a car, you're going fast or slow. You have to, you can go moderate, and that's still one of them. Whether you are feeling light in your body, or you're feeling heavy, or you're feeling happy in your heart, you have a heavy heart or a light heart, whether you're in a dark place in your life or whether you've seen the light, you've seen the light in your life. We cannot escape metaphors. We are bound by them in this reality. And there are many, many more that I could go through with you. And you'll probably start to notice now that I'm bringing this to your attention. Within every person, they have this metaphoric landscape. And in that landscape, there are so many metaphors. And we carry a lot of them in our body as well. So your metaphoric landscape is comprised of all these metaphors: good, bad, dark, light, happy, sad, like green, dark, like all these things are running your systems. And these are what determine the state of beings that you're in majority of the time, what you're most familiar with. And a lot of times when people speak, they will speak their metaphors. They just don't know it. The average person says 1 to 6 metaphors per every 5 minutes, but they don't even realize. So this is about attuning your consciousness to becoming aware of metaphors so that you can grab them, so that you can pay attention to them. And now you can recognize, if you start to understand your metaphors and begin to understand the metaphors of others, it will give you a deeper insight into their structure and your structure, which is one of the principles of hypnosis, is to understand your structure and the other person's structure, because it then becomes very easy to make changes, to give suggestions, to make people feel really good with your language. And that is what a lot of these are about. How to become a better communicator and learn how to speak to the unconscious mind of people. A lot of people would say, like, you get shallow communication and then you get depth of communication. Now, depth of communication is when you're speaking in metaphors, you're speaking in symbols, you're speaking to the deeper part of another person's mind or their unconsciousness. For instance, here is an exercise. Your self-image is a metaphor. So if you have to just stop for a moment, maybe go sit somewhere quiet, maybe put some nice music on, and think about your self-image. What do you look like in your self-image of yourself? What do you see? And if you really just stop and focus on this, you will see an image which represents your self-image. And once you have access to that image, you can develop it into more details through asking these two metaphor developing words. What kind of X is that X? And is there anything else about that X? Is there anything else about it? So your self-image, if you ask yourself, what do I think I look like? What do I see when I think about myself or yourself? And whatever image comes to mind, you can then say, is there anything else about it? And is there anything else about it? And you will notice, you will start pulling out more and more descriptive information, more and more metaphors about yourself. And this is the key to transformation within yourself, is changing your personal metaphors. All emotions are actually metaphors at their core. An emotion is actually an evaluation of a kinesthetic, which is one of the 5 senses, which is the feeling, the sensations, the energetic feeling you have in your body. Then we glue a label onto it and we call it an emotion. But at its core, it's a metaphor that's activating and running the program, making you feel the way you feel. And metaphors is how we express the unexpressible. It is a very important principle to understand within conversational hypnosis and hypnosis in general. And by practicing, understanding your metaphors and other people's will really help you connect deeply with other people, because it tells you their themes by which they run their life by. And if you understand the person's theme, it's very easy to connect with them on that specific theme. You can use language associated to that theme. If someone says that they feel like they're battling life, that the theme they're going through is a war. And everything is based on conquering and fighting and the flag. And you'll notice in their language, they will speak in a lot of metaphors around that specific theme. So this can give us deep insight into people, and we can start speaking in metaphors because metaphors are memorable. If you want to get someone to understand a concept, tell it to them in a metaphor, and they will 100% never forget that concept. So metaphors go deep into the unconscious and they fill out the structure. A metaphor, by definition, is a container that holds something else. So learn to speak metaphorically, understand your metaphors that are running your system, and start to attune your ears to metaphor, because this will give you a deeper insight into yourself and other people.